Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Rodney. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Cup of coffee, well, cup of tea in hand. Got a little turmeric and mango tea to kick off the
Mm,
day. Yep,
that sounds good.
yep.
Sounds
Having a
good.
little fun. Actually,
I'm
I'm holding
drinking
one of
my
my
lemonade.
famous country soul coffee mugs. This is actually me and my business partner's company, and so we've launched Country Soul Music Magazine. So whoop
Mm,
whoop. So we're pretty excited about that. And so he started creating merch for us. So we got little country souls. If anybody out there got country soul, we got coffee mugs for you and some other good things that are coming. But
Well, this is
yeah,
interesting.
I'm
I feel
pretty
like I ought to do an interview with you today to find out what country soul is all about.
well. I mean, truthfully, country soul is a genre of country music. And a lot of people don't know that country soul has been around a long, long time, the genre. Even people say, well, who is country soul? Well, that's people like Ronnie Millsap, Winona Judd, Aaron Neville, Lionel Richie, uh, Ray Charles. A lot of people think Ray Charles was a big soul singer, which he was, but Ray Charles' three biggest selling albums were country. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know Tina Turner had a country album. A lot of people don't know the Pointer Sisters won a country Grammy for their song Fairy Tales.
You're right.
So
I did not know any of this. Wow.
so and truthfully, there was the Latino singer Freddie Flender. He was country
Mhm.
soul. So it isn't about skin tone. It really is about the sound. And like I said, going back to Ronnie Millsap is one of the greatest country singers there is, but he contributed his sound to all the soul singers. He really wanted to be a soul singer, but he was country. So he says, well, I'm going to blend country soul. So me and my business partner, Marvin Sproul from the Country Soul Music
Mhm.
Awards, we are going to launch an award show to properly honor the soulful side of country and the people who made it happen. And so we have some lifetime achievement awards. Marvin was really heartbroken because his favorite artist of all was Charlie Pride, and he
Mhm.
really loved Charlie Pride. And Charlie passed away before we could honor him because we've been working on this thing a number of years. But when you start talking about putting together an award show, it is a huge undertaking, and it takes a whole lot of stuff. And so
I can
we've got a
imagine.
little bit of everybody. Hey, good morning, everybody. We have we have a lot of wonderful people. Hey, everybody here. Hey, good morning, good morning, and a lot of great people on. And we have and anyway, so we're off and running. So we got all people all around tuning in, and so yeah, so we've got some serious things happening, and so coming up, Country
So,
Soul. Mm-hmm.
so Rodney, help me out here because
Sure.
I'm familiar with all pretty much all the names that you were throwing out there and some of their
Sure.
music.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I am not very musically literate, I would say.
Okay.
So
Okay.
help me out with the understanding of what is the distinction of
Mm-hmm.
country soul. How is it distinct from country music or country rock or country pop?
Okay. Well, country soul is more folky. It's more it goes all the way back to when you start talking about country soul, you're talking about people like Ray Charles. That was way back. And it's more
Mhm.
a soulful blend. The melodies are more soulful. And when
Mhm.
you normally think of country, a lot of times people think of it being kind of twangy, they kind of
Mhm. Yeah.
well, country soul has a more soulful sound to it. And so again, the best example would be people like Charlie Mathis, Charlie
Mm.
Pride. Um, Goodness gracious! I mean, we could just go down the road of country
You
soul.
said Charlie Mathis. Are you
I
talking
mean,
Johnny Mathis?
Johnny Mathis. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
excuse me,
yeah.
Johnny Mathis,
I pictured
Charlie
his
Pride.
face. I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, that
that's
doesn't
right.
seem
That's right.
right.
You got me.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I used to listen to him a lot.
See,
Liked
and
him
so
a whole lot.
a lot of people didn't know. Did you know it was actually a black man that named the Grand Ole Opry? And that
No.
exactly. And a lot of people don't know all of these incredible facts because, and he was the he was oh my goodness, um I can't remember his name off the top of my head because I got a lot of junk in my head, but the most important thing is we want to honor people, you know, that have that whole country soul sound. And again,
Mhm.
we've got we got Caucasian country soul singers, we've got Asian country soul singers, we have Latino country soul. So it is
Mhm.
a all inclusive. We don't care where you come from. If you've got country soul in your heart, we want you to check it out. Matter of fact, I'm going to put in the little drop here our magazine, Country Soul Music Magazine .com. There you go. If you go and get a chance, when you get a little time, go check out Country Soul Music Magazine.com. And you will get a big kick out of that because that is a magazine that has been long time coming, and a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And Marvin's very, very proud of that. He is, you know, the things that we've been able to accomplish with that is pretty groovy. We're happy to say that we have that, and it's off to a good start. So we have to keep
Oh, good.
building. Yeah, we have to keep building. So fingers crossed. So we have country soul apparel, we have country soul wines, we have the country soul music magazine, and we have the country soul music awards coming 2026. So I'll make sure we get you a ticket.
Mhm. Ah, all right. All right. And when in
Mhm.
2026 is that going to be?
You know, we're hoping somewhere maybe around September. So we have to see it again. We're still in the throes of putting all the bricks together, but it's coming. It's
Mhm.
coming. It's coming. We're a lot closer 2026 than we have ever been. And so
Mm.
we have people, we have investors that we're talking to. So pray for us, because it really is about us launching a new genre. And we probably, and we already have it locked down, but we're going to lock down a record label. And so
Ah.
all of the country soul talent that, and for a long, long time, many record labels would look the other way. They say, oh, there's no
Mhm.
such thing as country music. There's no such thing as country music. And we're like, there is country music, and especially the soulful side of country. And they're like, nope, 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 nope,
Mhm.
nope. So we said, we're going to crank up our own record label and our own
Mhm.
distribution. And so now we can bring all that beautiful talent in from all around the world, and we're going to have a big country soul label.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yep, there's a
And I'm
lot
so
of work.
glad you're doing that. So, since it's actually been around for a long time,
It
but
has.
it's not been recognized as its own genre. So this is what you're attempting to accomplish, right?
As okay, here's an example. Here's a pure example. Just like, and I know you're probably not a big fan, but rap music. When rap music first got started back in the, early 80s, everybody was like, "What is this? Ah, my ears are bleeding."
No,
Well, but
I
guess what?
to be honest, when it first got started, before
Uh-huh.
the lyrics went places that I didn't like, when it first got started, I
Yeah,
thought, "Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I love this. I love the energy and the beat and, you
right.
know."
Well,
And,
see, yeah. Mhm. Go ahead.
I remember there, came out I don't remember how long after I first started hearing about rap music, but you remember we had, um,
Will
what
Smith?
was no, answering. Yes, well, yes, I knew who Will
Yeah,
Smith was. My
call and
kids.
response. It's called
Yeah,
call and response.
yeah, but what I'm saying was we had, answering machines back then,
Oh,
right?
answering machines.
And you
Okay.
could when it got to the place where you could actually,
Record.
buy recordings, you could make your own recordings, but you could also buy recordings
Oh,
to
yes. Yes, yes,
put on
yes.
your phone to answer the phone for you when,
Right. Uh-huh.
and my favorite one, and the one that I was like, "Oh, man, if I was gonna choose one, it would be this one." It was, "You gotta wait for the beat. You gotta wait for the beat. You gotta
Yeah.
leave your name. You gotta leave your number. You gotta wait for the beat." I was like, "That's kinda rap. I like it."
Right. Well,
It
see,
was it was great. Yeah.
you I remember that. That was a they call those ringtones that when
Yeah,
they would
yeah.
answer. So the thing is, see, when rap originally started, it was about educating whoever was listening. So there were some great, incredible rap artists that this was before profanity hit. And so there was a guy by the name of KRS One, incredible rapper, and he kept his lyrics clean, and he was really about um just the syncopation of the music
Mhm,
and
mhm.
everything,
Yeah.
and his timing and his rhythm. But what he was saying, if beyond all of his lyrical skills, you should listen to his words. And if you listen to this guy, you were like, wow, he is really educating the youth and anybody who's listening. So he kept his lyrics, like I would say 99% clean. And so then there was Will Smith, and then there are,
Mhm.
because Will Smith, he started out as a rapper, and he
Mhm.
always kept it clean, and that's what separated Will Smith from all of the other people. And then and then in the 80s hit gangster rap. That's when the
Mhm.
kind of things kind of shifted, because when when the gangster rap hit, it became more street stories or what people assumed were street stories. And so
Mhm.
they would go into I guess go down the river of, you know, telling tales of woe or whatever. And that's what kind of happened. Yeah.
If it was only telling tales of woe, that would have been one thing, but, I remember
Yeah.
I would listen to some of the music and suddenly I think, "Wait a minute, did I just hear him talking about, a woman in a regard that is,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
can't
got
even,
a pretty
yeah, and there was that, and then there was the glorification of violence, and I was like, "Okay, no." And
well,
this
yeah.
became most of the
Hmm.
rap that I heard around me, and so I started associating rap
Hmm.
with only that, and I thought, "Okay,
Right. But
don't
you
like it
gotta
anymore."
understand.
Still wish it hadn't gone there, but yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you got to understand this. There's been proof. There's overwhelming evidence that the music is not drawn. It was not driven by these artists. It was driven by the record label, and there were
Mhm,
people in high places that did not even look like 90% of these 99% of these gangster rappers, and they said, "This is what we want you to put out, and we're going to pay you big money, and we want you to put this out, and you will put it out, or
wow,
we're not going to release it." So these people all, and so the when this thing started to happen, they liked that energy, they liked that grit, they liked
mhm,
something new. They really were not looking at what the potential damages could be and the fallout for the community and families and youth. So, and again, I understand where you're going with this, but a lot of people says, well, they didn't have to do it. Well, guess what? When the rap, especially when the gangster rap hit, if you were not doing it as hard as the next guy, they were like, oh well, you're not tough like this guy, and so he's going to stay. We're going to keep giving him the crown and the
mhm,
money and the exposure, and all the
Mhm.
marketing from the record label and everything. So all these other people would try to emulate that number one guy or girl, and it just
Yeah.
started to grow and grow and grow. And then they started seeing the overwhelming amount of money that it was making. So the guys at the top, it was purely a money machine, and they did not care about what the fallout would be, what the psychological impact would be, what the community impact would be. And but the number one thing, you have to have common sense. I don't care what you're listening to, it's just a song. You can't go out and try to live it. And so that is the problem. Some people try to live
Mhm.
up to this stuff, and that was the the issue of what was going on. And
I
yeah,
think there was more than that, though. I think it wasn't just that people were trying to live up to this. I also think that there were people who thought, well, if we're hearing this all the time and so consistently, this must
right.
be what's already happening out there. And
Hmm.
we just didn't know about it. And therefore they started thinking this was mainstream and normal, and that's
Yeah.
not
Well,
true.
yeah.
It's
Well, see,
not true.
that's why my business partner, like I said, that's why he decided that he wanted to create country soul, and he
Mm.
did. And matter of fact, this is the honest truth. I met Marvin back in, goodness, 2007, 2008, and he was telling me this is going to be the hottest thing. This is going to be like the new rap thing. And I was like, country soul? And he was like, yes. And he started educating me, and I actually became a business partner to him because I said, Rodney, this is groundbreaking. You will be on the cutting edge of this thing. So I jumped on the bandwagon with him, close to 17 years ago. And so we've been working to build this thing, and, good things that, that you have to put together take time. And here we
Mhm.
are. It's starting to happen.
All right, Rodney, book Marvin for our show. We
Oh, sure. I
got
would
to
love
help
to
get
build it.
get the word out, but I would love to be a part of this conversation with, between you and him, and bringing out all
Oh,
these
yeah.
things that people don't know, including me. I didn't know.
Well, I promise you, we've got things that would blow you away as far as um, some of the music, and some of these artists. They're so beautiful. Matter of fact, there's something coming up called the Country Soul Superstar. It's supposed to be coming up. Matter of fact, I think it's this coming weekend. We're supposed to be there, and I'm going to be probably doing some interviews. And there is a huge uh, country trio that's going to be the country soul trio that's going to be there. So hopefully I'll get a chance to interview them. So if so,
Oh
fingers
yeah.
crossed, maybe next weekend we'll have a little highlight, and we are really um, making some great things happen, in that genre. So
Okay. I
yeah,
have to ask you. This is probably going to be a really difficult question just to answer for one thing, but
sure.
also because I don't want to get you in
Okay.
trouble.
No, no, I'm in no trouble.
So your top three, this is personal preference now. It's not like, oh, this is for all time and everybody, but your
Uh-huh.
personal top three favorite country soul stars. Who are
I have to tell you honestly, I would probably say, um, I would probably say Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride is an incredible guy. Ronnie
they?
Millsap.
Incredible voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say one more great country soul singer. Wow. So Charlie Pride, and again, you're looking at people like, Ray Charles. I mean, because some
Hmm.
of the stuff that he did was just incredible for that time. And
Hmm.
we really and so someone says every music has soul in it. Oh yeah, that's right. Every music has soul in it. That's right. And we're excited about it because this is a new genre. I mean, we really are on the ground floor of something that's going to, and it's already started to happen. Like for an example, and some people were really up in arms about it, was Beyonce. When Beyonce kind of broke and moved in the country, they're like, that's not country. She's not country, because country music is really conservative. And Beyonce was pretty flashy and her outfits were
Mhm.
flashy. And they were like, that's not country. Ah. So people had a
Mhm.
little problem with that. But how do you, you can't, refute the record sales, because her record sales was like boom, and it was at the top of the charts. And so,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
pretty,
it's really hard to separate the music itself and the
uh-huh,
value of maybe the music itself from the way it's presented.
right. Well, it's all
Yeah.
very important because, again, country music is a conservative music. It's about family and good old times and barbecue and just sitting back and taking it easy. And so
Yeah.
that's really what they want. That's what it was kind of based upon. But
Mhm.
again, there's a I'll pull up something. I'm gonna pull up a link here out of YouTube, and it's very powerful, very very powerful, and it's a link to a post that was out there, and I will pull this up and I'll put it in the chat, and it's um hold on. And this is for you, Nina. It's very informative. You will get a huge history lesson here. And I'm going to share this. I'm going to try to get my little link here. Yep, I got it. And I am going to share it with our wonderful team here. And oh, here we go. And it is called Country Music Has African Roots. And if you get a chance to check that out, you will be blown away at what you will see. Country music has African roots. And if you click that link, save that link, and when you, after the show, go back and take a peek at that, you will be blown away. This is what inspired my dear pal, Marvin Sproul, to come up with the Country Soul Music Awards. And there is stuff in there, Nina, I guarantee you, that will blow you away. It will blow your little socks off. And there's a lot of great history. A lot of great history there.
I'm looking
Like,
forward to watching that.
did you know that the banjo was actually an African instrument?
I
And it
did
was,
know that. Yeah,
yeah.
I did know
And
that.
so
Yeah.
that the whole twangy little ding 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 ding, the whole little
Yeah.
banjo, that thing was birthed out of the canteen. It was
Yeah.
African instrument called the canteen, and so
Mhm.
people did not know. You know that no doubt country music has African roots. Oh yeah, there you go. And so
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
for sure. So a lot of neat stuff, and so but we're just trying to you know, open up the genre and be able to have a lot more fun. And so you've got a lot of new guys out there. Kane Brown. There's a girl by the name of Deanne Carter. Um, gee whiz. There's there's a group out of North Carolina called the Carolina Chocolate Drops. They kind of funny name, but they are beautiful girls and they sing like little songbirds. And so, and the funny thing is, last year I was at the Country Soul Superstar competition here in Los Angeles, and there was a girl there who sang, and she got on the stage and she was talking like a little country girl. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so she says, and I'm from North Carolina. So I'm in the VIP, of course. So me and my buddy,
Mhm.
we had a chance to talk to her. And I said, wow, you from North Carolina? And she said, yeah. And I said, what part? She said, Greensboro. I said, what? Greensboro? And I said, I got a question. I said, Dietrich, you wouldn't happen to be related to the Halls that own the restaurant on Randleman Road, would you? And she goes, that's my uncle. I said, what? So the Halls owned a restaurant on Randleman Road, right there in Greensboro, right off the side of the highway. For years, I would eat there, and so I'm like, what is the odds? Because I hadn't eaten there in gracious 15 years, and the restaurant is still in the same place. And I said, so you were the Halls from North Carolina? She goes, yeah. And I was like, wow, I went to school with some high school with some Halls. And I said, wow. So her name is Deetra Hall. And matter of fact, if I could pull up her, I don't know if I can, Deetra Hall. Let me see here. Deetra Hall. I don't know if I can pull it up. Did I get her name right? The spelling? Yeah, it's Deetra Hall, country singer.
Is it with a T or a D? Is it Deetra or Deidre?
Yeah,
I'm but not Deetra.
Yeah, I'm not. Her last name is Hall. I know that Deetra. Yeah, I can't. But she's a wonderful young lady doing country music, and yeah, and so probably I will end up possibly seeing her again. She may be there next weekend, and if so, I'll try to make sure I get a little call, get a little interview with her and some of the other other artists out there. Yep, that indeed it is a small world after all. Thank you, there. Elvira from Poland chimed in. It is a small world. No matter where you go, you can find people that that are from your little town and things like that, and it's very interesting. I wanted to I was trying I was trying to find these I was trying to find, let me see, Deetra.
Yeah. I was trying to find it too, but I don't think it's giving it to me because I keep coming up with Deidre Hall, the actress.
Right. Yeah. I country soul singer. Okay, country singer. And I'm trying to I think it's my terrible little spelling, because I met her just the one time, but her last name is Hall. Deirdre Hall. No, not Deirdre. It's Deetra Hall. Anyway, but for the most part, I'll get the name for you. But we've got great people like Kane Brown. He's a current country soul singer. There's a guy by the name of Shabuzi. There's a guy, his name is Shabuzi, and he's a big country. Yeah, oh, he's country soul. Shabuzi is country soul.
I think I have heard of him.
Yeah, and so we have good people, good. We have good artists out there. I'm trying to see Shabuzi. Yeah, Shabuzi. There we go. I got Shabuzi. I see his name, and so he's one guy, and then there's another guy. I forgot his name. There's a lot of country artists out there that we're really excited about, because they are just people who are doing phenomenal work in the record industry.
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know where it's going, but we know it's going somewhere great, because it's already on the move. So, but on that note, so tell me, what's been new in your world?
Oh, well, I got to see Mia this weekend.
Yeah, Mia Powell, Hanging Unwasted.
Yes. I got to spend some time with her, as a matter of fact, in a class. She was teaching a certification class on mental health first aid.
Wow.
So
amazing.
I took the class. I am now certified in
Yay! Adult mental health first aid. Yeah. Yay!
Yeah. So, and I aced my test, I'm happy to say. And I don't mind
Wow.
telling you, I was a little nervous about it because there was a couple of questions in there that was, I was like, "Oh my, we talked about this, but this could go two
Uh-huh.
ways." It was, yeah. So anyway, I was thrilled that I actually
Uh-huh.
got the answer right, and but it was a really, really good class, and I love being a part of it because she gave a lot of
Mhm.
opportunity for interaction and talking through things, thinking
Uh-huh.
through different scenarios and how you might respond, whether it was a good way to respond or not. And it was really convicting too, Rodney, I got to tell you, because,
Wow.
we were going through what's helpful, what's not helpful when you're trying to
Uh-huh.
render first aid to someone who
Mhm.
is in a state of mental unwellness at the moment.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
there were several things that we identified as not being helpful. And I thought, I've done all of those. I've
Wow.
done all of those. Yeah. And there was an exercise we did. She said, before we do this exercise, I want you to think of someone you love dearly. And
Uh-huh.
that person just brings you so much joy. They have so much light and you just love them to pieces. Now imagine, keep that person in your mind.
Mhm.
Imagine that you're hearing these things
Mhm.
said about this person. And they
Wow.
were things like, she's just seeking attention.
Mhm.
Um, well, if she really wanted to kill herself, she would have done it by now.
Yeah,
Things
I
like
know.
that. And
Mhm.
there was
Mhm.
there was on, and you know, um, there were so many things, and I thought, oh, I've said some of those things to the very person that I had in my mind that
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I love so dearly and brings me so much joy. So it was very convicting in that regard, but it was also
Mhm.
wonderful to understand why the things that I had said before were not helpful, no matter how much you think
Mhm.
you're being helpful. One of them, for instance, was you may think you're being helpful by telling the person right away, "Oh,
Right.
I understand exactly how you feel. That happened to me 2 years ago."
Right. Right. Right.
So, but that's not helpful. And the
Wow.
reason, even though you're trying to connect to them, you're trying to let them know in the quickest way you can that
Mhm.
you have been through what they're going through, so that you can connect with them.
Uh-huh.
It's not helpful because you don't understand exactly
Right.
how they feel.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You have not been in the same situation that they were in because you're not
Mhm.
the same person. You don't have the same cultural pressures on you, or
Right.
family
Right. Right.
pressures, or church pressures on
Mhm.
you.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
there is um, a stigma, I think, in the church that if you're
Uh-huh.
struggling with
Right.
mental wellness at the moment, that somehow you are not spiritual, or
Right.
clearly
Right.
you're outside of God's will. If you would just pray more, if you just had more faith or whatever, that you would be fine. But they don't
Right.
recognize the judgment in that. Because when you
Right.
say
Right.
to
Right.
someone, well, you just need to have more faith, the implied
Mhm.
is clearly, I've already judged you as not having enough faith. And
Mm.
the reason I'm not having the problem you're having is because I do.
Right. That's terrible.
See how judgmental that is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is really, really tough.
So I'm so glad you asked that, Robin,
Right.
because I would love to tell you. Mia does these courses routinely, and I think she said there's been some that they have actually done online before. But let me put you. Let me see if
Mhm.
I can find. This is my this is my book, my manual
Yeah.
that we had.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can find the right website for you to go to. I'll tell you what, though, here's where
Yeah.
you can go. I already know this one.
That's right.
So, painunwasted.com. That's where you need to start
Is it
and let them
.org or
know you are
.com?
interested.
Is it
I think
.com
it's
or
dot.
.org?
Hayes.com. Let me check. I've got her in my
Yeah.
contacts here. Sorry, I'm not that prepared here, y'all.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Also, I'll drop in here while you're looking for that. Here goes one.
Oh, you're right.
You probably heard of this guy, Nina, Jelly Roll. Have you heard of Jelly Roll?
I have, yeah.
Jelly Roll is country soul. So I just dropped in. For anybody who doesn't know Jelly Roll, there's Jelly Roll. But did you find the is it me?
I did. And it was, you were right. It is .org. This is actually Mia's email address at painunwasted.org. So you can email her, find out how to be a part of the next course she's teaching, or this is actually being taught all over the country. She's not the only one doing it. So you can probably find one near you. And I think they're actually doing it internationally as well. So check and see if you can actually be a part of this, even online, because I think they've done it online. Now, I went to the adult course, but there is one for youth. And reading a statistic that she gave us yesterday, she said the age group that is has the highest incidence of, as the young people put it today, unaliving themselves.
Yeah, it's such a terrible thing. I don't know why people say that. I don't know where that unaliving came from. I was like, boy, that was terrible.
I'll tell you where I think it came from. Because if you use the word that starts with an S, you get censored. Starts with an S.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, not homicide, but if you use that word, your content gets censored on social media. So I think that's the reason the young people came up with a different way of saying it so they could actually talk about it, but would not get censored for it. That's my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's what I think is going on. Anyway, I was going to tell
probably right.
Yeah, the demographic that has the highest incidence of that goes back and forth between the group from 10 to 35 years old.
Yeah.
And from 50 to 85.
Wow.
Now, you think about what's happening in those age groups where they're in crisis. And when we stopped and thought about it, we realized, wow, most of your major life changes happen between the time you're 10 and 35 years old, and then again between the time you're 50 and 85. So what happens when you're between 10 and 35? Your parents might get divorced.
Yeah.
You might get divorced. You move away from home. That's a big life change.
Right.
You might lose a job. You might lose family members. Or lose a pet. All these are big life changes that happen to people. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, between 50 and 85, what happens there? People start losing lifelong friends to death.
That's true. Right.
They start becoming empty nesters. So the family that they used to have around them, all of a sudden they're finding themselves more alone. Their health starts changing, and they have a loss of ability that they didn't used to have before, and it's unsettling and disorienting to them. So, and sometimes they have to move out of the house that they, raised their family in or grew up in, and the change there is, devastating in their own lives.
Right.
So it's easy to understand why, with all those life changes happening, that's what puts you at risk for mental unwellness.
Wow.
And you'll automatically end up there. It just means those are great risk factors.
You're right. And also there are career collapses. Yeah. You can have a career that collapses. And it's so sad. You'll hear certain people who are very, very successful in a career, and there are other things that happen, other triggers, like it could be a divorce that pulls someone's attention. And then, matter of fact, I knew a guy that used to go to Skid Row in Los Angeles, and this is really sad. This guy was one of the top attorneys in Los Angeles, one of the top guys. And he came
Mhm.
home and inadvertently caught his wife, who he loved very, very, very much, in an affair. And
Yeah.
that guy, they said, he came home, and this guy would always be carrying law books because he was preparing. And he came in and he opened the door, and he literally had his law books with him. They said that that guy was in a tattered dress suit for
Mhm.
years, and he would carry these things, and he was on the streets. He just walked away from his family, walked away from everything, and sat down, and he would read these law books. And they said he was in a suit, dirty as you can imagine, but he was fully dressed in a suit with his law books because it
Mhm.
was too much for him to bear. And it's so sad, and I think that that's where we got to intervene. A lot of times people say, well, I just don't want to get into their business and it's not my problem. But we have to find a way to kind of really help people in crisis. And it could be just a kind word. It could just be,
Mhm.
just to let them know that that they're going through something. And at that time, maybe that could be, and if you're
Mhm.
offering good help, like Mia Pyle and Pain Unwasted, and there's so many other uh, organizations out here trying to help and make a difference. And so we
Yeah.
just have to
Yeah.
pray for those who are going through a struggle. And mental health is a big thing right now. It's a big, big thing.
It's a very big thing because I think we have all been through that,
Yeah.
and this really is true. Mia was explaining to us that the mental wellness looks like this: like over here, you're well,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you're moving toward not being well, and then you
Right.
are unwell, and
Right.
then you are in crisis, and then you are moving toward getting better, and then
Right.
you're back to being well again.
Right. You grow
But
through it.
it's actually like a cycle, we all
Right.
can
Right.
cycle
Right.
through things as we experience those things that put us at risk, those major life changes. Sometimes they're even good ones,
Right.
they're even good changes, and then you wonder, "Why am I feeling depressed? Something good just happened to me, or something I'm happy about, or,
Yeah.
we just made this move and we're in a wonderful place and I love it. Why do I feel depressed?" And it
Yeah.
might be because without realizing it, you're mourning some of the things you left behind or what forced you to have to move. Maybe it was the
Yeah.
death of someone, or maybe there is some great stuff here, but you miss, like, now you're in Arizona and you love it,
Yeah.
but you miss the seasons that you
Uh-huh.
had when you were somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
So there can be a lot of different reasons that people are at risk for, and it's not our job necessarily to render the aid that the first aid, yes, but not the ongoing aid. We're not therapists, we're not counselors.
Uh-huh.
That's not what first aid is all about. First aid is about approaching the person, assessing the risk,
Yeah.
find out what has happened in their lives. How long
Right.
has the way they're feeling or what's going on with them, how long has that been going on? Because
Mm-hmm.
that tells you, they may be further along than you think in the risk they're
Right.
in. And then letting them know, listening, giving them information that is helpful, letting them know someone cares,
Right.
pointing them, encouraging them toward professional help
That's
that we
right.
can't give, because
Right.
we aren't equipped for that, and also encouraging them toward self-help and self-care.
That's
If
right.
you're not getting outdoors any or getting any exercise, or you're eating things that are just contributing to more inflammation in your brain and in your
Right.
body, all that is doing is contributing to being further unwell, and not just physically but mentally, because brain
Mm-hmm.
inflammation is the underlying factor in depression.
Wow.
and a lot of other mental illness they're finding
Yeah,
out
and
now.
when people get depressed, they have a tendency to eat a lot of junk food and just stay in and not be mobile. And again,
Hmm.
you're right. It's not like when you're depressed, you're gonna go, I think I'm gonna have a salad. You
Yeah,
start eating
yeah.
potato chips and things that you probably shouldn't eat, and so it's
Hmm.
it's a real challenge. Yeah, it is definitely a real challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff in the comments here about Jelly Roll.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Jelly Roll, he's a serious singer. If you look at him again, just touching base on that, when you think of the conservative side of Jelly Roll, I mean of the country music industry, he does not fit it. He is covered in tattoos. He has crosses on his
Hmm.
face, but he's been through a lot. That
Hmm.
is what kind of birthed his country music because he went through a whole lot of struggle and there's a guy, oh man, I forgot it. Oh, but you'll probably like it. Uh Jelly Roll has a song called Save Me. And it's
Okay.
and it's a real great song. So you have to check it out. And but yeah, you know, we're very blessed to be able to have, you know, where we are now because now it's not such a stigma to go get help. And I think that they want people to really tap in and look into uh getting themselves, getting help. Because a lot of times, and just like you say, you can't go to your friends because they're not qualified. You certainly shouldn't be going to your family because they can be judgmental and say something. And so you really shouldn't feel fearful about going getting professional help. And whether you have good insurance or you just have to go through the social service system, go get help because
Mhm.
that can be a boil over point. And every day we turn on the news, you see mental illness and what it can do to people's lives, and they go out and they act out and they do some
Mhm.
of the, you know there's a guy that I'm working on a project with the Los Angeles Italian Festival, and so I'm going to be possibly launching a podcast for them. And the guy, his name is Joey, and Joey's really funny. Well, he's a comedian too, but he said his grandmother, whenever that anybody told bad news, the grandma would say, "Oh, that's just ugly. That's just ugly. That's
Oh
that's
my
how."
goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that's just ugly. And so that was her thing, and he thought that was so funny that his grandma would say
Mm.
that, oh, that's just so ugly. And
My
so,
grandmother would say that too, but not about things like that. She would, if she didn't like your behavior,
yeah,
she would
she'd say it's ugly.
say, "That's just so ugly."
That's funny. Yeah, but see, those are simple, but those things are so impactful because
Mhm.
when you kind of need somebody to kind of guide you, and sometimes even through love, things that sting, um, you know, if it's done correctly and done with love and real purpose, and from a trusted source, if your mom says, "Hey," and my mom used to say that, Rodney, don't act ugly. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to act ugly. Because as a little kid, you start thinking about that. And I was like, ooh, because it sounds, the first thing you think of is monster. Roar. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, you don't want to be a monster. So don't act
Well,
ugly,
and I
Rodney.
think there's something about it that, it's so easy for all of us, and I think we all do this sometimes,
Uh
to
huh.
take what is being said about an action we have, excuse me, and attribute that to our person.
Right.
Oh, if I'm acting ugly, I must be ugly. I must be
Right.
an ugly person.
Right.
And then
Right.
we
That's
start
right.
thinking this is just true. And you can have different reactions to that. You might think, "Oh, I've gotta hide this now. I can't let people
Right.
know that I'm really ugly because then no one would love me, no one would wanna talk to
Right.
me."
You have to be
Yeah,
careful.
or you might think, "Well, if I'm an ugly person and I can't help it, it makes me angry." It
Right.
makes me
Right. And
angry
then people
because I
act
can't
out.
help it. It's yeah, and then they act out because of that, or they might think, "No, I'm an ugly person and there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. I
Therefore,
can't change. Right.
yeah, I can't change. I might as well just
Be ugly.
do the
Right.
best. Yeah, be ugly. Do the best I can with what I got."
Yeah. But, again, and that's where we come back to the real truth of things. That's why we need consistent revival and really, because there's one, I'm telling you, no matter how ugly life has been, there's one who will accept you as you are and bring you home. And that's our Lord, who is there to forgive us and help guide us. And a lot of times I think that that is the saving grace. I don't care what anybody says on this planet, from your family, friends, society. There is one who understands you. There is one who has loved you from the beginning of time. That is our Lord and Savior. And I'm telling you, I think that, we really need to stay closer to those scriptures and things like that that build us up. The Beatitudes.
Yeah,
I love,
yeah.
I love the Beatitudes, and to be able to read those things and you think about them, I'm like, man, and all the blessings and things that are before us. So it help you to get through those little rocky times and those downward, downslides sometimes in life.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
the scripture tells us that perfect love casts out fear. I think if we
Yeah.
all knew how perfectly we are loved by
Yeah.
God, how deeply we are and thoroughly we are loved by God, there is nothing
Yeah.
that He doesn't know about us. There are things
Right.
we don't even know about ourselves,
That's
but a
right.
lot of the things we do know leave us thinking, "Oh, how could you love me? Because look at." And he was like, "No, I know you thoroughly through and through. I know what I made you, and I know
Right.
you are still what I made you. The essence of who I made you has not been altered by what you've been through, by what you've done, or
Right.
by anything around you, by your climate, by your environment, nothing.
That
There
is
is
so true.
nothing that can keep me from loving you."
Right. Right. And again, we should always kind of press towards, you know, wanting that love, wanting that communication. A lot of times, so many times people feel like they're all by themselves or I'm lonely and stuff like that.
Mhm,
I'm like, but again, again, that Mia could go down that road of from a real psychological standpoint of why people feel alone. And, but you always got to know you have the Lord and Savior who's always there to listen, and he's 24 hours a day. You don't need any intermediaries. You don't need any introductions. You could just go to him any hour with our cares and problems and concerns, and just lay it at the cross, man. Just lay it at the cross and believe that he can work it out.
absolutely.
And honestly, Nina, some of the challenges that I have been through in my life, I seen when after you go through it, you start thinking you're better than you were before you came through it, because you learned something and you never knew how tough you really were. You didn't know how resilient you would be. And
Mhm.
it really strengthens your faith.
Yeah.
Problems are not here to crush us. It's to here to strengthen our faith, increase our walk, keep us close to the Lord. I think that, and sometimes I know, sometimes sometimes it seems like, boy, I'm chained to the Lord. I'm like, boy, but I'm like, might as well be chained to him that try to do it on my own. And so, because I tell you,
Mhm.
boy, you
Or change anything else that can't
or
help us.
anything or anyone else, because I'm gonna tell you what, everything else is sinking sand, literally. But the Lord, if you
Amen.
keep yourself locked in on the word and the scripture, boy, I'm gonna tell you, I after always the smoke clear, I think about that and I'm like, man, wow. this really truly is a walk. Every day is a walk with the Lord. And so I think it's a beautiful
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah. I know there's people out there who maybe are thinking, oh, yeah, well, if God is so real and if he loves me so much, why did he let this happen to me and this
Right.
happen to me? And, all these terrible things.
Yeah.
Where was he then?
Right.
And my answer to you would be ask him. Ask
Mhm.
him where he was during those times. Ask him to
That's
give
right.
you the perspective that you might be missing
The right
about what
perspective.
all
Right.
those things were for.
That's right.
Because that's the amazing thing to me is that God does take us through these things. He allows us to go through things that are painful and hurtful, but how they shape us, how they
Yeah.
shape our empathy, all the fruits of the spirit that we long to have, the love, the
Right.
joy, the peace, the patience, kindness, goodness,
Yeah.
self-control. I'm probably missing something, but all of those things that we long to have, this is
Right.
how they are developed in us and how
Perfected.
they
Yep.
are tempered in us, perfected in us is through
Right.
those very things that we suffer. Because you know what? Nothing gets our attention like suffering.
Yeah. 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 Well,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing. And every day, every day you wake up, sometimes you have to just kind of start off and, you know, pray to the Lord and ask him to show you things and to bless your day. I say, wake up with a prayer, go to bed with a prayer. Cause boy, I'm going to tell you, a lot can happen in
Mhm.
between those times. And so the first thing you should do when you wake up is be thankful. And right. And,
Yeah.
and if you can get through this crazy thing called life, and you can, no matter how tired you are, if you can crawl into bed, boy, before you get there, make sure you get your prayer time in and thank the Lord for carrying you. Cause I'm telling you, from the time you get up in the morning to the time you hit the bed, boy, anything could happen. I mean, and a
Mhm.
lot of times things do happen throughout the
Oh,
day.
yeah.
And so you got to be thankful at the end of the day and say, well, Lord, thank you for taking care of me. And, oh, protect me while I sleep and go
Yeah,
ahead
and
and
I
zonk
guarantee
out.
you, if you look for it, you will find things to
Yep.
be thankful for that
Yeah.
God has provided that maybe you didn't even hadn't paid attention to, didn't notice, but it was there for you. And when you
That's
realize,
right.
oh, things could have been lot worse, but
Could have
God
been
did this
worse.
for
That's
me, or that,
right.
and
Yep.
actually, this thing was a blessing, or even just the weather that day
Yeah.
was a blessing, or this person who was kind to me or smiled at
Yeah.
me or whatever it
Yeah.
is, there's so many things that we can be thankful for. So
I
if you're
tell you.
having a hard time with that, that's what I
Yeah.
would the other thing I would say, practice.
Right.
Practice looking for it. Yeah, before you know it, when you're practicing doing that every day, it becomes a part of your thinking. You don't even
That's
have to
right.
try hard. You just start finding yourself grateful for so many things.
Right. And I'm telling you, I have, in hindsight, I had a job that I really enjoyed, and it just conked out. I forgot what happened, but the job ended. And I was like,
Mhm.
no. But when you think about it, the Lord sometimes, it seems sometimes I have had so many things. It seemed like this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. But it really is an open door. It's like, whoop, the Lord opens a door and there's something
Mhm.
greater, there's something better, there's a different pathway. And I told somebody, life is a roller coaster. And there are ups
Mhm.
and downs, and there's twists and turns. There's a lot of fear, and you're gripped on, and you're holding on to for dear life. But that's what makes life exciting. If life was always predictable, it would become very boring. And sometimes, and so when things happen, when life kind of throws us a little curveball, don't get excited. You just got to say,
Mhm.
okay, this has happened. This too will pass. I will come out of this thing. And like I said, thank God, if it really does not take you out, you got tomorrow. Whatever it
Mhm.
is, bad relationship,
Mhm.
job loss, whatever it is, you got to hold on to a blessed hope for tomorrow.
Yes. Even in the midst of losses,
Yep.
I still think God is one of the things He's wanting to teach us is your happiness and your well being is not dependent on anything temporary here,
That's right.
whether that's a person or a job or a
That's right.
location or a situation.
Yep.
All of those things are temporary. And when they end, it's because
Mhm.
He's leading us on to the next great adventure
Right.
with Him.
Everlasting life. That's
Yeah.
that is the big ticket. That is the big ticket,
Yeah.
And so, matter of fact, it was funny. I had a dream. I've had, matter of fact, there's a couple things that I want to do, and I think it's really interesting. And I'm like, boy, with all the technology, in film and television, how wonderful it would be to be able to just tell that story. Because
Mhm.
there's a lot of stories out there that can be told, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it. I think we'll all keep going. And my little Mika is here. Stop, Mika. I'm in the middle of
Oh,
a
it's that
yeah.
time. And she says, I want to go out.
Yeah, it is that time. Do you know she knows? It's like she has her little record of time. Yes, I know. Hello. How are you, dancing machine? How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, nope, nope. No need for
Oh,
kisses.
and kisses.
No
He
need for
loves to
kisses.
give
Oh,
you
nope.
kisses.
Nope, nope, nope. No need for kisses. Nope, 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 nope. No need. Oh, nope, nope, nope. She's a little funny little character. But anyway, I think we're at the end of our chat. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
we
had
are.
fun. I hope everybody's had a great time today. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, please check out Mia Powell. Gosh, come on, Mika. Come on. Chill
At
out.
Pain Unwasted. Yeah. Check
Yeah,
out
Pain
Mia at
Unwasted.
painunwasted.org. I
Yeah,
can't remember where we put that. Here, let me stick that up here one more time.
yeah,
Make
Pain
sure I find
Unwasted.
it.
Hello,
Let's see.
Mika.
There it is.
Yeah, Pain
There we
Unwasted.
go.
And
So, yeah, if
Mika.
you're interested in taking a mental health first aid course, either for youth or for adults, I think there's even one for children, then
Yep.
contact Mia. She can get you connected.
Yep, yep, yep. So everybody have a blessed rest of the week. It's Monday. Nope, no need for love. And so I hope that everybody has a blessed day. Thank you for coming on the chat session here on the This Way Network, and we will see you again. And Nina, close us out.
Well, y'all, thank you for being here with us today. We're so grateful every week that you're here because we really enjoy getting to have this conversation with you. So please join us again next week. And for now, be of good courage. God is with us, and we aren't alone. Bye, everybody.
God bless. Have a great week.